Hello everybody, and welcome to Week 2 activation matches for Overwatch. Today we've got Overwatch Gold going against ERAU. I have no idea how this comp is going to look because earlier I heard Gold talking and they say that they're very much still in the experimental phase, as it is just activation matches, not really playoffs. These wins won't exclude them for anything later on. They're looking to maybe cook something up in the studio, and I'm here for it. I don't know if this is the comp that we'll be playing, as sometimes people swap. However, running Galvanizio on Ramatra, Who's James on Symmetra, Harp on Reaper, Blakeu on Moira, and Toonie on Lucio. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's out of left field for Gold, at least in these games. Surely they've practiced. They go for that TP. However, ERAU does not have the Symmetra or the Lucio, so they're going to be really slow getting to this point. With Center Gold already having taken control of the point before it unlocks. There's still a fight that can be had here in order to take it back, but Gold is just not letting ERAU into the point at all. With the Ramatra and Mirror match, they're just going to be trading blows this entire game. Harp having to retreat back through Fade. It's going to leave the DPS line a little bit farther back. Of course, playing really far back already, just throwing out the occasional shotgun blast and heal as Galvanizio just holds the line at the front. With that Discord, how much damage can you take, though? Both Ramatras get traded there, and then that's a trade inside of ERAU as Blakeu gets taken out. But then there's another pick. These picks are just trades and trades. No reses on the board, so whatever you get is what you get. Nice, and then just again another trade. This is slowly becoming a 2v2. See if Toonie can't try and get this Kiriko. Oh, but falls into the trap. Unfortunate. Just one too many trades fell. Oh, never mind. Galvanizio is back on the site. With, I believe, yeah, Blakeu giving that support. A little bit too much damage, and Blakeu might have to back up because of this Ramatra. With a Cole, yeah, easily can push into the site. Everybody's back now. This was prolonged enough, and even if they were to lose something like that, it's still 50%, but they never lose that. They never lose that a day in their lives. That Cole ended up getting them site control back, it feels like for the first time, but site control back. And that was just one ult. That was one ult, and we now have Wall and a lot of other ults coming up. However, ERAU did move some people around. That Soldier got traded to a Cassidy. An interesting pick, to be sure, but I don't believe Visor came out, or if it did, it got snuffed out very quickly. Looks like they're going to try and maybe play for the side a little bit. Toonie does have Boop, and so that could be a little scary for ERAU. Nobody else really has any sort of movement other than maybe Junkrat. All right, now maybe looking for rotate onto the main sort of choke there. Able to make it in a little bit. Who's James turret's trying to stall them. Harp is going to take out Junkrat, but Junkrat higher is going to take out Toonie. Oh, and there's Zenyatta ult. There's not a lot that you can do to just outright just get rid of any sort of efficiency that you had as Zenyatta ult is quite frankly a wall. There's not really much you can do unless you've pre-set up a one-shot ability that you know is going to hit. But 99 is a really good start to this series. Even if they don't get point, it'll be close at the very least. However, I do think they will get point. I believe in Overwatch Gold. Having to maybe play a little bit more conserved, as I think Who's James was getting taxied by the Lucio, so they were down to support. There's TP onto site once again. Just tied their shoelaces together, and we recaptured point. There's not a whole lot they can do, except for this Junkrat launching onto site. The beat is going to prevent them from being able to take any picks, though, and that's 3 of them down. They still have a support and tank. As support takes out Who's James. All right, there we go. There's some trades. We've taken out the Kiriko. It is just a Cole against that Ramatra. Nothing left. And there's a lovely first game. Not first game, but first round. That was good old Lijiang Night Market. We love to see it. I think this experimental phase that Gold is going through is very fun. We've gone away from the Orisa, Sigma, Bastion, Mei, just having, I guess, we do still have that Lucio. That Lucio is still very much the glue that keeps this team together, but sort of just transitioning who exactly is playing this Lucio. I think that Blaiku on support, still busting out some really good numbers, still busting out some good plays. These Coles are pretty big. These Coles are what's winning fights a lot of these times. I think that Gold is off to a really good start in the series. Just instantly getting to site first because of the Symmetra Lucio. There's really not much that you can do except run your own Symmetra Lucio, and it just looks like ERAU has not planned for that. A lot of damage going out. Galvanijo is going to have to maybe play a little bit, aggressive, it seems, busting out the Nemesis and just pushing forward. Still able to get those heals off. That Rock's going to push him back a little bit. Needs a little bit of heals before he can go in back on that tank. There's a lot of targets that he's got to look at. Decides to nem and dive after the supports, but Who's James gets taken out in the back. Carp gets one of the supports, and then Carp gets taken himself, and there's Joseph out. Or I guess, sorry, Galvanijo out. Not that bad of a loss. It was a really quick death. Everybody is able to get back. Sorry, I apologize. Who's James switching onto Sojourn? Not necessarily out of the question or out of the blue, because I feel like just Who's James can obliterate on some of these hitscan characters. Toonie does get taken out, so they're going to have to maybe stop the push here a little bit. Not having that Symmetra means that not having that mobility that comes with teleport, not being able to just get behind them. So let's see if Who's James can make up for that in just general picks and damage. A lot of utility goes out, and they're just deciding to push on a point through it. That Cole is going to guide them into the site, going to take out that wheel instantly. Cole's going to keep Galvanijo alive. However, we do lose Who's James. Carp is really hurt. Oh, and the Flux takes up Galvanijo and Carp. Carp gets taken out. It's just 2. Or maybe 3. Yeah, it is 3. It's Sups and Tank. Yeah, just trying to clear out the point as Moira. It is a slow process. Galvanijo is able to take one out. Blaiku does go down, but it's fine. It's trades. Looking out for that Deadeye. Unfortunately, the Deadeye does take out Who's James, and Toonie falls as well. Joseph just maybe wishing for a quick death there, hoping to not leave anything too far out there. Carp needs to kind of make it back. That could be quite scary. Just running for your life, hoping that you don't just severely stagger. But not to worry, the team is already back, and they're ready for another push. However, it is getting 90-0, and so they're going to have to make something real fast. And it looks like they are, just speeding onto point. That Suzu goes out real early, allowing Carp to get that ultimate. Gets one of the supports. That could be big. That Rock goes out. Ooh, but the supports are ready to catch Carp. going back in. Unfortunately, a ton of those pellets went into the eat. Not really much you can do whenever that Sigma's healing for half his health bar. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure, but we were able to take point back. That's wheeled down again. That's the third wheel of this round. This Junkrat might be a bigger problem than Gold's giving him credit for. Able to just block a lot of that damage, able to just run through, hoping to get a pick on tank. Yeah, it doesn't look like tank's getting out of there. These are some really good picks. These are some really good picks, and it's going to lead us to about at least 30% by the time that this next fight even starts. Just getting some of that spray, and getting ult charge, getting, for Sojourn specifically, just getting that rail charge. That Cole comes out from Blakeu, pushing forward, taking out the Junkrat, getting aggressive. That Cole is not a heal, that is a damage ability. Carp is going to take out the Cassidy, and there we go. Toonie does fall, unfortunate, but that is a successful push. You know, you take Toonie in the place of their entire team. So I feel like it's a pretty decent trade, no offense, Toonie. Of course, Toonie can just amp it right back to Psych and just hit that rollout. There's the Nemesis coming out, trying to press that backline. Tank's not really looking at each other at all here. Sigma does have to back up. And there's the annihilation that comes out from Galvanijo. That's one Moira down, the Junkrat down. He's counting them. That's 1, 2. The teleport goes out. There's 4 down here. Blakeu behind the team the entire time. Just 1, making sure that everybody is kept alive, and 2, picking 2 off. You know, Galvanijo's pushing forward, making sure that that space can be made, that the team can be absolutely just shattered. And, you know, Blakeu really taking advantage of that as the support that can do a billion damage. Who's James does get 2 there. That pull is just simply not as effective if it's not in Blakeu's hands. Carp taking out another 2, and there we go. That is going to be Lijiang. A wonderful first game, a close game on the second map. I'm eager to see what this turns into. I'm very eager to see what this turns into later on in the series. But we will see you guys on Escort. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Overwatch Gold versus ERAU. Correct? Yep, ERAU. Today we are on. I always get this map mixed up with the other one. This is Rialto. I always get it mixed up with Circuit Royale, and I have no idea why. This is Rialto, and we're going to be starting with, I believe, Center Gold on defense, or maybe not. I'm not quite sure. It is defense. I'm so right. I'm right 100% of the time. This is more of a maybe a standard comp with Who's James on Sojourn, the Galvanijo on Orisa. However, we do have some mix-ups as Blakeu has taken a DPS role now. Blakeu is going to be playing that soldier. Before I comment on the support lineup, which is quite interesting, I've seen Blakeu soldier. I've been Blakeu's Mercy while he's on soldier. It is quite good. So let's hope that he didn't get rusty playing all that tank. And then we go to the support lineup, which is Tuni on Brigitte and Carp on Ana. Very, very interesting. I personally have never seen this. Of course, they're practicing it. They've always practiced, they practice every comp that they pull out before they pull it out. That maybe right-click Randy last season, but like that was it. But I'm very interested to go what it looks like going into this. There is a Pharah Mercy combination on the other team. This is looking like more of a scrimmage, not exactly a dive, as really Winston's the only one that goes in, but a scrimmage, just like skirmish rather. Skirmish, just jump in, do damage. You have Pharah up in the air doing damage that, you're counting on your Orisa to hit something. But Blakeu does go down to that Pharah. That no-die gets taken out pretty early into the fight, but Who's James is going to take out that tank. Somewhat of a good trade, but it would have been a good trade if the tank couldn't get res there. Galvanijo really hurt, just pumping heals into Galvanijo, trying to make sure that their tank can stay alive. The nade goes out. They're not going to have that for anti-heal later. Who's James does take it out a support, but Who's James gets taken out by the tank. Ooh, Pharah in the backline just taking out your Ana. There's not much you can do about that, except for be there for your supports, I suppose. Yeah, looks like Winston might get out of here. Center Gold is going to finally get control of that point. A lot that they need to really note from that little push there is just, one, that this is a very just unorthodox path that the enemies are going to be taking here. Pharah's going to come from above. Pharah's going to come from the side. Winston's going to leap on you when you least expect it. I will say the soldier did get swapped out for Cassidy once again. Same guy playing soldier and Cassidy. It seems that maybe he's just more confident to start with soldier, maybe just testing the waters. Carp does get taken out by that Pharah. As far as something that Center Gold is going to have to take more seriously. Of course, Blakeu playing the most serious role that you can into a Pharah, playing that soldier, just hoping to burst her down. Really, that Helix rocket is probably not going to hit unless you're the luckiest man alive. However, that Visor's coming up soon. That's a lot of damage. That's no die out. This is looking really good for some ultimates. And of course, Galvanijo's going to bust out that pull. The pull goes out, and we get a support looking for that Mercy. Carp does get taken out. Carp just absolutely getting just bullied by this Pharah. Pharah is able to just get past the entire team. Nobody's really paying her any mind. That's a lot of little trades went out there. We did lose Galvanijo, except we did get a funny little grenade kill on Cassidy. You always love little cheeky kills like that. I think that if you want your Ana to be more prevalent, is you have to make sure that your Ana doesn't just get flanked by a Pharah. You have to make sure that the Pharah isn't just getting past you. You have to have those eyes in the air. Not saying that Center Gold isn't trying, but I'm just saying whatever's happening right now isn't exactly working. Who's James does get taken out by this Pharah. It seems to be quite the menace. Not able to make that much progress ever since Center Gold got a little control point. That's Nano out on Orisa. There's no die. Really hoping to get a support here. It looks like Galvanijo's going to have to back way up before anything can happen. That beam is going to burn right through that shield. Can't really do much. Hoping to look for a quick death, I think. Looking for a quick death. That's Window. Window's a really nice ultimate to pull out there. Carpin and Tuni really need to back up here. As the support's there, they need to live. If they were to die now, it would be a very decent stagger. Or a decently sized stagger, I should say. Looking at these ultimates, nothing has been super influential. We had one play where it was a really nice pull, but Joseph might be considering right now, man, is this pull that I'm about to get worth it whenever they're running the counterplay? Or maybe just Joseph is thinking, yeah, I can definitely diff this Zarya. I can 100% diff this Zarya. I just need to, you know, let it ride for a little bit longer. I think that this Pharah is being really abusive. Something needs to be done about this Pharah. I don't really know what you could do. You're running basically 3 hit scans. I'm unsure unless you were to throw a Baptiste into the mix. And there's pull. Just that he hasn't, not that he's using it. Cooney does take out Cassidy, and Galvanijo takes out Baptiste. Unfortunately, we lost someone there, I do think, at the very beginning of that fight, but 2 picks for 1, you're always going to take that. 2 picks for 1 and control over sight, or I guess control of the payload. With pull in hand, this could be a pretty decent hold. However, Rally did need to be used in that last fight. Rally was what got a lot of pressure there. So maybe we're hoping for a pull into a nano, or I was just about to say maybe a nano visor. You can't get that off now because just solo ulted by the Pharah. Bleaku was down, is going to need a second to come back. Just spraying and praying. Look at all that utility going through that doorway. Oh, they don't exactly expect Galvanijo to be there. Looking for that pull. I know that body language. Nice. That's the visor that comes out. Able to... Ooh, absolutely beautiful. I saw it in Galvanijo's footwork. Looking for that pull. The pull goes out. And you can't help but think this entire game the Pharah has been just bullying the backline. What's the backline doing? If Galvanijo is going forward, we have no visions, and you switch back, and that visor's going out, putting some work in, and taking out. Ooh, a lovely kill in the Pharah. That's absolutely necessary. The Pharah has been an all-star player for them, and another kill on the sub. Absolutely beautiful. Almost like who's James done this before. And there's that second bubble. Know that Zarya is just helpless. Sorry, to finish my thought earlier. It's very nice to see that that Bleaku was able to hold his own even in a Zarya ultimate. All right, looks like they're going to be playing a little bit more careful now. Not exactly as spread out. That Zarya is going to be a little bit less, I guess, anticipate. You're going to be able to anticipate that Zarya a little bit more than the Winston. However, Who's James does get taken out by this Pharah again. Pharah already 72 barrage. This could be just another solo pick that just absolutely just loses control, loses pressure. Galvanijo kind of alone, needs to just spin back to team, but then decides, no, I can go back in. They think that I'm out, and I'm going to go right back into it. Oh, that's Sleep. Sleep maybe throwing off Galvanijo a little bit. The No-Die goes out. The Toonie is pressing them with Rally. There goes 1, and there goes 2. That was Window. That was Window able to hopefully take out Ana here. Yeah, taking out Ana. And that is going to be round 1. We are now going to switch sides, and Gold is going to be hacking now. Now on that specific half right there, it was really bad the way that Pharah was able to just get around them and get a really easy pick on somebody. Sort of just the essence of Pharah is just, if I can hit some direct hits, then your support lineup is going to die. Especially somebody like Ana. There's not really much you can do as an Ana unless you just hit your shots. And if you're a good Pharah versus a good Ana, it's, you know, it's really scary. So they know that this team played super sporadic whenever they were on attack. But I'm interested to see, do they keep that sporadic sort of mindset going into defense? You know, like, is that Winston going to be... Is it going to be present? And it looks like no. It looks like they're going to stick with that Zarya, or maybe switch to a Sigma. Very much more defense-oriented than the other characters that we've been seeing. This is really interesting. I don't know if this will be played as they, you know, you can always make some noise, throw them off, like, oh, I'm playing Pharah, so they switch to Soldier, and then you instantly swap to Genji so that you can just deflect all of his bullets. So just making some noise, maybe misleading them a little bit. I do think that Carp and Toonie are probably going to be sticking these subs, and it looks like the whole team is going to be sticking. This is very interesting. Galvanijo playing that Doomfist, a little bit of a Bleaku special, but I'm sure, you know, Galvanijo is going to be able to pull this off just as well. Who's James on that Tracer? Bleaku taking over the Sojourn. It looks like Galvanijo got a little bit too greedy, but it did allow for Who's James to get incredibly deep. I'm getting somewhat of a mirror here to where they just let the Pharah into the backline. Seems that this team has just let the Tracer into the backline. Of course, they just all need to be present. They don't need to have site control just yet. It's the very start of the round. Galvanijo having to go forward, make some pressure, to make the tank just, hey, look at me, and everybody else is looking at this Tracer. Who's James does fall, but a lot of pressure is gained. You can hope that maybe some momentum can be gotten with it. Galvanijo just trading blows, going in, going out. Seeing if maybe some supports can't be just disrupted. There's Bastion taken out by Blaiku on Sojourn. And there we go, Galvanijo hitting that Sigma. Ooh, this is nice, just juggling and bullying that Baptiste. It looks like Pharah's probably going to make it out there. Maybe not there. They might show back up. There's the Empowered. I'm going to use that to get on out. Use that to get on out. There's no need to be even more aggressive here. Hopefully this point can be gotten a little bit of a whiff on that rock. Looking for that pulse bomb, I know it. Now I'm over here. What are you going to do whenever I throw this pulse bomb on your support line? Unfortunate. I wanted to predict it. But there it is. Nice. Taking out the Lightweaver. Unfortunately, tree is up, so pushing is going to be pretty difficult, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Tree, no tree, nano. You know, Blaiku is apparently proving that, hey, you give me a rail, I don't care if you're the tankiest man in this game. I'm going to take you out. A lovely cap of that first checkpoint there. Still having Rally and Doomfist ultimate Meteor Strike. While Meteor Strike is not necessarily an incredibly influential ultimate, it's still one that's basically just a get-out-of-jail-free card. But Toonie has proved that rally is definitely a fight winner. Just has to make sure that the fight can sort of have the right elements for that rally. Carp does get taken out, so they probably don't want anything too massive just yet. Apparently not. Galvanijo going in and looking for something a little bit bigger. Dreaming a little bit bigger. Oh, the no-die goes out. That's a lot of damage. That Baptiste is going to fall. And that's almost the entire team. I believe that's 3 down. Still have tank and still have 1 sup. That sup goes down and there's the tank. That was really nice. It was a really nice team kill. They just need to get to the second checkpoint and then they win the game. They have 3 minutes and 30 seconds and they're practically inches away. Still has that get out of jail free card as well as Pulse Bomb. Pulse Bomb is one that can get a really nice pick here on the supports, just like Who's James did last time. Looking for the punch on that Pharah. Maybe a little bit too overzealous. However, Blaiku does manage to get the Pharah. Does get traded through the window, though. And there's the Meteor Strike. It goes down. Doesn't quite get much, but, you know, it is what it is. That's not really what it's meant for. But that positioning does allow for Galvanijo to get a pick on the support line. Really just stalling here, but in the process of stalling is doing so much damage. I'm not quite sure if Doomfist can pull something like that. Just a 1v3 inside of a Lifeweaver ultimate. Might be a little bit tricky. You might want to back up to your teammates. Toonie is swapping to that Lucio, making everybody taxi. Not making everybody taxi. Being everyone's taxi. You know, regrouping that team. Toonie is going to, after taxi, switch back to Brick. Really just wanted to get everybody back with the team and then switch to maybe not exactly a comfort pick, but a pick that's been working so far, certainly. No big ultimates coming up except for Blaiku, who does instantly get that pick. I mean, you almost have to anticipate that this overclock is going to be kind of big. It is going to be the last overclock of this game. Pushing forward, looking for better positioning. There comes that overclock. There's a support line down. Ooh, unfortunate. Can only get one with the ultimate. However, only one fight needs to be won here. They don't need to really preserve for the rest of the game. They just need to win this one. And there we go. The tank is going to fall pretty soon, hopefully. There we go. Just throwing haymakers, throwing hooks. Hoping that eat doesn't do much. And the pulse bomb and for a little flourish. Well, a wonderful game too. It is 2-0 in Centergold's favor. And we will see Centergold versus ERAU in Flashpoint. And we'll see you then. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Overwatch Gold versus ERAU. Now, we are going on to the third game. It is 2-0 in Overwatch Gold's favor onto Servasa. Now, if you haven't got to past two games, Overwatch Gold has been getting a little bit experimental with the compositions. Running maybe some people in roles that they aren't usually in, or maybe just figuring out where they should be in. It looks like this game we are putting Toonie in a DPS, and we are putting Blakeu and Carp into a support. I think that a lot of these different compositions have worked really well, and I'm very interested to hear what they say about these compositions, what they feel like worked despite getting a win. Maybe they felt like one of them was kind of scrappy, a little bit too ramshackle to run in later games. However, in this game, very interesting. Toonie is going to be playing Genji. The only reason I say that's interesting is because I've never seen it before, a day in my life. But Galvanijo is going to be running that patented Flashpoint Junker Queen, whose James going to be running that Sojourn, Blakeu onto Kiriko, and Carp, giving that speed on Lucio. They, once again, do not have a lot of mobility in the way of speed. They do have that teleport, but it still looks like they were really late to point. Junker Queen able to kind of just mulch through Ryan's shield, to be quite frankly. I think that this might be a really good matchup in Overwatch Gold's favor, at least in the start here. Of course, Galvanijo does instantly get that too, gets the Torbjorn and the Brig. Looks like that Ryan's going to fall pretty soon, hopefully. Nice. Ryan is going to fall, as well as Symmetra. And there is, I don't believe a team wipe, but did clear everybody off of the board. I gotta say, with Toonie already at 50% ult charge, I'm not hating it. I'm not hating the Genji at all. And I think that I'm actually really eager to see where it goes in this specific round. They're going to push forward through a little bit slower here. They did kind of rush on the point last time, hoping to get that first cap. Let's see if slow does any better. It looks like that Ryan, once on cap, is just going to start swinging, and that really doesn't work. Your team needs a tank, or else Toonie's just going to chop right through him. Of course, that Ryan is last to die. I mean, like, what can you do? Imagine if you were a Brig and you were standing there, and all of a sudden your Ryan is gone, and there's a Genji right behind you. Really not much that you can do there, except for, I guess, play more compressed. But even then, if you play more compressed, that probably means you're playing slower in Flashpoint, fastest game mode. So it can be very annoying. They do need somebody to touch. Looks like nobody's going to be able to touch. This fight will be over nothing. No point is unlocked. They just need to head to the new one. But if they can get an advantage now with a massive blade, an absolutely huge blade from Toonie, taking out 3 there. That was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, hit him with the hello. That was absolutely gorgeous. Just as I was saying before, this fight is absolutely unnecessary, but if any sort of advantage is gained, then that means that point is basically theirs. It's an incredibly risky fight to take, and Toonie just said, I stare in the face of danger, and takes out their entire team. However, Whose James does fall at the beginning of this fight. They're going to be down a DPS going into it. There's a very decent chance that they lose the point, unless Joseph is going to just go all out with the ultimate. Doesn't matter if we're down 1, if we can take out more. Toonie taking out 2 in this fight, taking out a 3rd one. May I just say, Toonie is absolutely popping off on this Genji. I hope I'm not out of pocket whenever I say this. But they really aren't expecting just that dive in. Of course, if you're all looking at the Junker Queen that just dove into your backline, how can you even spare any sort of attention to go towards the Cyborg Ninja chopping you in half? And absolutely, how can you? The Toonie rush comes out from Blakeu. Does get shattered, though, but it looks like enough people are still up that we might be able to contest this fight here. The Dragons go through, really clearing off rush, but that last little bit of rush goes out, and it looks like this might go into ERAU's favor. Carp having to back up here. Galvanijo incredibly deep, just dying. It's just Carp left, either needs to die or get out. It's going to opt for die, just a little bit faster, despite being on Lucy. You got a lot of ground to cover there. You'd at least be out of breath by the time you get back to your team.
Murphy, dash.
Everybody regrouping, no changes just yet. They feel like even though that was a loss, they had to bust out a couple ultimates there, and this next fight will surely go differently. Tuni is 65 to that Genji ultimate. However, we're pretty far from everything else. Nothing else can really be counted on except for a really good play, maybe a few good picks. Of course, Who's James is going to deliver that with a rail to the Moira. Just spinning around, hitting those melees. Who's James takes out the Hanzo. That DPS line is really faltering here. However, Blakey does go down to the Reinhardt. Down on a support. Galvanito's taking a little bit too much damage than they need to. You can't really do much when your only healer is a Lucio. It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. Like a matador, the Reinhardt charges past and you just smack him on his way out. Don't let the door hit you. It is going to be 81% to ERAU. If ERAU does win this next fight, they will win this point for sure. No contest. But they're going to have to get on point really quick because it's already 85 for gold. Already 85, and they're going to push on the fight, onto this fight really quickly to have that shatter. They probably want a little bit more, looking for that support lineup. Tuni does fall here, so does Who's James. No DPS, there's Carp, there's Blake. It is just Galvanijo. This point is definitely going to go to ERAU. In Flashpoint, dropping a point doesn't necessarily mean the end of the world because of the fact that there's just so much that you can do to sort of make it up in the end. For example, getting a 3K with a blade in between points. Carp is gonna tax. He's gonna make sure everybody's still together. I do like that we're sticking this. We lost the point, but we still think that there's some potential behind this copy. We want to continue trying this. And especially with ultimates, this next fight, it will take place on an absolutely scorched battlefield, as we've got that overclock and the beat coming out with a rush to maybe start a good fight. Nothing really big except for a shatter on the side of ERAU. That teleport comes out, gonna aggress on that, gonna say that no, actually I'm gonna stay up here, and Blakey and Who's James are able to take out the DPS line. It is just supports and a tank, and when you've got Who's James in your back line, I mean, that's bad news. That's bad news if you're just a bunch of supports. Just a bunch of raccoons in a trench coat at the moment. They cannot really contest this. Having to just back up, give that space, it's a full team. You're 3 against 5. There's nothing you can do unless you pull out something crazy. ERAU to me just doesn't seem the crazy type. Throwing out a little bit of damage. Tuni is 76 to that blade. Galvanijo is 78 to that rampage, I believe. But 3 ults on the board, and Cole is going to be coming up for ERAU. Those dragons do come out, but it doesn't really matter. Going to take out the sim. This fight is not super hindered by anything, and in fact the rush is going to lend a lot to these kills. There's the tank down. Tuni does fall, unfortunately. That Cole is keeping those supports alive, but really they're just stalling. They're just stalling. It's the entire team. You're not going to live. They just need to, just hit the occasional melee so that they come back a little bit slower. That point is going to go to Overwatch Gold. One more point in order for Overwatch Gold to win this map and win this entire series, actually. It's still very possible that ERAU is able to contest on this next point. It's not out of the question that ERAU wins this next point, and this really comes down to whether or not ERAU stays in with just the final point on this map. However, Tuni having Blade, Galvanijo having Rampage, and Who's James having Overclock. This is not looking great for ERAU. The closest ult you have is Kitsune Rush, followed by a Dragon that's 30%. There's not a lot that you can really get here. You have to make this entire play with a Kitsune Rush. Either that or you're just banking for a later play down the line, which isn't exactly a smart play. Galvanijo going incredibly deep in order to stall for that blade. That blade comes out, takes out one. The Cassidy does fall, and Tuni is going to grab 2 of them. Blakey is going to grab a third, and well, I suppose a fourth, and this tank is just going to die a little bit slower than the rest. Once again, I might be wrong. I don't think there's been a blade that's gotten less than 2. I think that every was there?
He died.
No, unfortunate. I didn't notice it, so I won't count it. In my heart, Tuni is still the best Genji player I've ever known. But really contesting really far here. Blade was the only ult used. Galvanijo was incredibly aggressive and didn't feel the need to pop ult. So this fight is going to be probably the final fight. That Kitsune Rush comes out. No other ults from ERAU is able to really be popped right now. That overcharge comes out. The overclock just doing so much damage. Galvanijo pops that ultimate. There's a 5-player kill streak, and that's a team wipe. And that is going to be not only Servasa, but also the third game, and also the entire series. A very, very good game for Center Gold. That was a very experimental set of wins. We diverted away from the normal sort of deviation of compositions that we'd run. I'm sure this is one of the rampages just charging through the fight. Oh, it's at the very beginning, taking out that Torbjorn, taking out the Brigitte, and then just bullying Ryan. Just quite frankly, treating the Ryan like a ping pong ball while the supports just get laid out. That was an absolutely beautiful game, absolutely beautiful series, and hope everybody enjoyed. What are the next games that we have for the rest of this week? None for the rest of this week. We're good. See everybody next week.
Thursday.
It's Thursday. I forgot. I usually cast on Mondays. All right. Goodbye, everybody, and take care.